Hey, Cori here. So in this video, we are doing a goals check-in. So at the beginning of the year, Sally, Crystal, and I sat down and made some bookish goals for 2020. I'll leave a link to that video down below. And we decided we wanted to sit down and kind of check in with our goals and see how we're doing. So without further ado, let's get into that.
Hello!
Oh.
As you heard from the intro, we are here to do a kind of mid-year goals check-in. We failed to do this last year and therefore didn't do too well in our goals.
Yeah, this was a good reminder of what we actually talked about.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I used it a long time. Even with this 6 month, I had kind of forgot what I was aiming for. So, I think in the previous goals video that we made at the beginning of the year, which we'll link down below, and let me tell you, it was a different world, which will be reflected in one of my goals.
Yeah.
We'll leave that link down below if you want to go watch that first before you watch this one. But we're just going to go through one by one. I think we each have picked 5 goals, and we'll check in with how we're doing.
5 goals plus a number goal of like...
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I said. I think I do remember what I said, actually.
I think yours was the same as last year.
Yes, I think you're right. So in that video, we started with me. Should we do that again so we can kind of stay in order?
Yeah.
Me,
Sure.
Sally, then Crystal.
Yeah.
So, again, forgive me, see my hand. I use my mouse down here. So my first goal was to complete the Read Harder Challenge from Book Riot. I'll leave that link down below as well if you want to see it. And that one has 24 prompts. And so far I've completed 9. So, not quite halfway there, but I'm on track. I feel like I can do it.
Yeah, that's great.
So, you know, and this was not even trying to complete the prompts. This was me sitting down yesterday going, what have I done? So if I try, hopefully it'll go even better.
Mine was also to do with the Read Harder Challenge. I was only going to do 7 of them because I'm not as prolific a reader as you. But I was going through the prompts 5 minutes ago, and I've already done 5 of the 7 that I set out to do. So I think it will be no problem to complete that one, and maybe I'll up that number a bit. Let's go 10 right now and see how I do at the end of the year. But yeah, without even attempting to, I have done 5 so far.
Awesome. Cool. What was your first, Crystal?
I think my first one was to read more plays again this year. I failed hugely last year, but this year I am killing it.
Nice.
Nice.
I think my goal was to read 12, which is the equivalent of like one a month, and I just finished 7 last night. So
That's awesome.
Nice.
The majority of them have been in the past 2 months because I've just been a bit obsessed with all the live theater that's been streaming online that I've been reading and then watching and like what have you. So yeah, that's
what's been your favorite one so far?
Whoa, I don't even know. So I've read 3 Shakespeare. So I've read Coriolanus, As You Like It, and Love Labour's Lost. And I also read A Raisin in the Sun by Lorraine Hansberry, which everybody should read. It's a really amazing African-American play set in the south side of Chicago in the 60s.
Right.
I read Our Town, Cyrano de Bergerac, and Amadeus.
Cool.
I think one of my favorites was Amadeus. I was impressed with how amazing it actually was because I had only seen the movie forever ago. And Love Labour's Lost was hilarious. And I was telling Cori this yesterday, through little snippets I've been reading about it, it's often been called his like first and worst comedy, but it's actually fantastic. And it may have to do with finding an excellent live performance that the Stratford Festival did, the Shakespeare Festival in Ontario. It just was streaming these past couple weeks. I think it's over now, but it was excellent. It was so enjoyable. Yeah.
Cool.
So that is one challenge that I am going to continue to smash because I'm a bit obsessed with just plays in general right now.
Nice. I feel like we're already doing better than we were last year.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so my second one was to read 12 classics spread throughout the year, and I'm not doing as good on this one as I would think because I typically read quite a few classics, but I've only read 2. I'm not going to say which because it gets into another goal. But does Isaac Asimov count as classic?
I don't know who that is.
He's like a really famous science fiction author that wrote, it's like modern classic.
Well,
Yeah.
like, when was he writing?
Like the
60s?
I think that.
Like quite a long time. So I've read 2 of his. He did the Foundation series, which a lot of people know the name of that, or also he also did When Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, which was based on a movie. I forget what the movie's called, but
Blade Runner.
I get him confused with Philip K. Dick. Did he do iRobot or did Philip K. Dick do iRobot?
I don't know.
I thought Philip K. Dick did do Robots, Androids Dream.
Pretty sure Isaac Asimov did. If I'm wrong, I do apologize. But
I think
so
if it's like pivotal to what we now know as sci-fi, then that's absolutely a classic.
okay. So then I've read 4.
Okay.
Yeah, like I was like I've read Margaret Atwood. I'm like, is that a classic? I don't know. So, but we're gonna go with 4, which is like
Cool.
not great, but I have time. I have time to get the 12 in there. So.
Cool.
What's your next one?
My next one was to read 3 classics, and I have not read any so far. But I, at the start of quarantine, got a Kobo, so I could very easily go put some on my overdrive hold and hopefully be reading them in no time. I think the one that I was going to start with was Catch-22. I can put on hold, and I'm pretty sure my boyfriend also has a copy of. So good thing we're doing this as a refresher.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
For me, I think I wanted to read Jason Reynolds because
Yeah.
I never have. And so far I've read 2. I read Long Way Down and For Everyone. But it's just become, thanks to quarantine, the library's not open. I don't always like reading. It's weird. Some books I love reading digitally, and some books I feel like I need to hold. And just the way his are written, I don't really want to read it on the screen. I kind of want to hold them and absorb. So Cori's actually going to lend me a couple more this coming week.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm going to the office tomorrow for our Owl Babble. I'll be in just because we have a better internet connection. So I'm going to bring some more to leave there for Crystal.
Okay.
So yeah, he's still on my radar. I have and because some of his books are in verse, I didn't want to listen to them audio-wise. I wanted to like see the words on the page.
Mm-hmm.
Even though
He reads the audiobooks though, they're really good.
Oh yeah? Well, I did listen to A Long Way Down while I was reading it at the same time.
That's cool.
Crystal double thing happening. So it was nice to read along and listen to that. But I feel as if I just kind of want to hold. I just want to dive right in, be part of it.
Yeah.
But it's
I
going.
totally get that.
Okay, so my next one is to read more N.K. Jemisin, who is an author that I love. She wrote one of my all-time favorite books, The 5th Season. And I have done well with this. I've read 4.5 books by her this year.
Nice.
This. It's a trilogy, so it's a bind up of 3 books and a novella. And it was great. And then I also read a book that I am absolutely adoring and we'll be talking about in a future video, but that is The City We Became.
I'm so excited for that one.
It's so good. I can leave it at the office for you if you want to read it, if you ever have a need to go there.
Okay. Yeah, actually that would be great.
This was absolutely fantastic. Set in New York City, in which New York has become personified, and every borough is in a different character. So you meet.
Cool.
Book starts meeting our main character, Manny, who is Manhattan. So it's great. I love it so much. It's weird, but it's great.
I like weird. That's okay.
Yeah. And then, so those are the books I've read so far, but I actually just got this out of the library yesterday, and it says How Long Till Black Future Month. And this is a series of short stories, I believe. I haven't read this one, and then I only have one other duology by her that I haven't read. And then I've caught up on everything.
Nice.
So In my library, I'm lucky is doing library takeout, where you just put things on hold and then they put it in a cute bag for you and you come pick it up. So
That's great.
I got a bunch of books out yesterday.
Cool.
Awesome.
My next one was to read more globally. And I'm doing okay on this one so far. I've read 1.5 or 1 and a start. I'm finally reading Homegoing, which I've been meaning to read for ages. But I'm in the middle of reading quite a few things at the moment, so I'm kind of only reading it in bits and pieces, and I feel like I kind of owe it to the book to start again once I can like fully dedicate myself to it. So that's my half, and then I've only read one other that is not from North America or the UK. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Is my sound being weird? I'm getting an echo in my own ear.
No, you sound okay.
Okay.
What number are we on? 3?
3.
So one of my other challenges was to read my nonfiction dinosaur books. Of which I have 3. And I bought them because they're pretty and I love dinosaurs, but I've never read them and I still haven't. But they're fine. They actually sit like right next in my living room on like the shelf right by my chair. So I see them every day. But I've just been getting so many other things moving up the list that they've just kind of filtered down to the bottom again. But I'm thinking if I could at least get one of them read by the end of the year, it would be a win. So
Totally. I think there's like a challenge called, is it Nonfiction November? Maybe you could do that.
Cool.
Cool. Let's see. Next up we have
Oh, look who's here.
Stephen Cameo.
Hi, Stephen.
All right. So my next goal, rolling away, was to read War and Peace. I did it! I did it! I have been meaning to read this book since 2014, and you know what? It was good. I liked it.
I figure.
I don't know, I think I just had to get over the hurdle. I had read like 130 pages in, like several times, and then always stopped. And I think once I got past like that 200 page mark, I was like, okay, I can do this. But it's so deceiving because like, let's go over here. Oops. This is 63 pages. Like,
okay,
it's crazy. Like, this book is 165 pages. So like, you just feel like you're getting nowhere.
Yeah.
But I listened to the audiobook and it worked.
Okay.
Tricky to keep track because the audiobook translation was very different from this translation. So I was like,
oh, weird.
Where am I actually in this? But I did it. Thank God.
So proud of
Done. It's one of my 2 classics I've read.
That's great. I feel like that should count for more than one. It's
right.
so huge. My next one was to read more backlist middle grade, and this is another one that I am glad I've been reminded of because I haven't read any. I was going to start with Kate DiCamillo, and when we are done filming this, I'm going to go put some on hold at the library because I completely forgot about that.
I think I'll still have a couple of her books on my shelf too if you want me to bring them.
I think I do have one on my bookshelf, and then I have this wonderful Kobo, which I am a total convert of.
Nice.
So I think I'll just do it on that. But thank you for the offer.
I do have a recommendation for you, Sally.
Go for it.
Middle grade backlist. In the past couple months, I read both Sal and Gabby Break the Universe and Sal and Gabby Breaks the Universe by Carla Fernandez. And the audiobooks are incredible. They're so funny. It's laugh out loud, super fast paced, and just so many messages it's giving kids. Like,
I read some of the one, but I didn't finish it for one reason or another. So that's a good one to start with. I always think of backlist as like way further backlist, but that counts as backlist. So that's a fun one.
For me, backlist is anything that didn't come out this year.
Okay.
So one of them counts. But then you could read the sequel.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Actually, okay. So if that's what we're counting, then like I reread both the Nevermore books.
Nice.
Okay, so maybe I'm not a total failure on this one, but I can do better for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and you don't have to go way back. If there's just something you haven't gotten to yet that came out last year, just read it.
You're right, you guys. Okay. But either way, this is like reminded myself to do that. So cool.
So my fourth one, I guess, is kind of similar to Cori's in terms of big books. Last year, I started rereading Count of Monte Cristo as a buddy read with my friend, but we both got super, super busy and it fell by the wayside. And it was kind of one of those chapter a day challenges. So we'd read for 7 days and then chat. And we could have been done within 4 months, but like I said, we got busy. So we started again recently and we brought in a third friend. And now we are 60% finished and still going.
Nice.
So we have more sections. I've read it like 10 times before, so I've kind of planned out our sections based on like leaving on good plot points. But
Right.
it's been nice enjoying something you love with two other people who are like, oh, this is amazing.
Cool.
And then as like a follow-up to this, as a chapter a day kind of challenge for a big book, I was going to read Dune. So I still have time after I finish this, and I still think it is a book that I want to read. So
A friend of mine who is a local actor in town, when quarantine started, he started reading a chapter a day and putting it on what is it called? SoundCloud. He's been reading Dune aloud. So, but he also he like inserts lots of his own commentary into it, and it's very, very funny. And I will send you a link to it if you like. His name is Ryan Beale. He's hilarious. So I don't think that's a book that I could ever make it through personally, but listening to him read it is a treat. So
yeah, it's something I've always wanted to read, and I know there's a new movie coming out soon, but I feel like I'm allowed to watch it until I read this book. So yeah, I believe Timothée Chalamet is going to be in it, from what I've seen in photos. So
in the Kyle MacLachlan role,
I'm guessing so.
I'm guessing.
I don't even think I've seen the original, or if I did, I was like mega. Yeah. But yeah, we'll circle back to that.
Cool.
I have read Dune, and I will say when I read it, I found it surprisingly readable. But I think because you've read some sci-fi, so I think if you even...
I love sci-fi.
So I think as long as... I feel like if it's like the first sci-fi book you pick up, maybe not. But like, it is like, surprisingly accessible.
Yeah, even if I haven't read a lot of sci-fi, it's a movie genre that I am super obsessed with. So. Yeah.
Cool. All right, so my final one was to do the PopSugar 2020 challenge. Not their real big challenge, but they had like a supplementary advanced challenge with 10 prompts that were all things to do with 2020. So like either having like 20 in the title, or set in the 1920s, or written by an author who's in their 20s, and this is the one that's like, pre-quarantine, a book set in Japan in celebration of the 2020 Olympics. Like, so it was a whole new world back then, guys. It's a different place. But I've done, and again, I hadn't checked before planning doing this video, but inadvertently I've done 6 of the 10 so far.
Nice.
So, which is like, I thought this challenge would be hard. Like, although there is one challenge that has to have the word 20 or 20 in the title, and I'm like, that one's gonna be tricky.
Catch 22. That's what we talked about in our goal video, and we said we could buddy read.
Oh yeah,
I totally forgot about that. Noted.
Yeah.
It's also a book that I've never read, so if this buddy read thing is serious, I'm in.
Yeah, sure.
You could. Why not?
I always wanted to, but I just haven't.
Yeah.
Just need to get my hands on a copy.
Cool. My next one was to read more nonfiction. I'm not doing great with this one, but I am currently reading White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo, which definitely counts. And there's there's more in that realm that I definitely want to get to as well. So I think that will be the focus of my nonfiction for the next little while. Is White Fragility and others that have been recommended.
Cool.
Oh, right. Speaking of authors that have been recommended, one of my other challenges was to read more recommended reads. People are always like, "Oh, you should read this. You'd probably really like it." And I'm like, "Don't tell me what I like." But when it's coming from people who know you, you should be more open to being like, "Read this." So one of the books on my list, the inspiration kind of started with reading 100 Years of Solitude, which I don't have a copy of. And I think it is one that I would like to read physically, just because, I don't know, I feel there's a lot of characters to keep track of from what I've heard. And I like to flip around sometimes. But on the circling back to Dune, not to like be a downer or anything, but I was talking to this book, Dune, with a friend of mine recently who sadly in the past few months has passed away. But when I mentioned reading Dune, he said Dune can be tough, but once you get a little deep into it, it's wonderful. So I'm going to take that recommendation and apply it to making sure I do read Dune for sure.
Cool.
Just to be
That's
like,
great.
yeah, it was wonderful. Thanks. I feel like I scrolled through the books that I've read so far on my Goodreads list, and like, I don't feel any of them were recommended to me. I just read them because I felt like it. But I am going to at least read those two books, 100 Years of Solitude and Dune for sure.
Cool.
And then I'll go from there.
Awesome. I think the last goal was our Goodreads goals.
Mm-hmm.
I set mine, I believe you're right, the same as yours, 175. And how many books have I read so far this year?
Is your goal 175?
Yeah, 175. Give me 1 second. I've read. Oh god, I have two mouse. My Goodreads isn't updated for the last one. I've read 135.
Nice.
So
You are putting me to shame.
But that's me. Y'all know I go hard for the reading. How's your goal going, Sally?
My goal was 72, and according to Goodreads, I am right on track. I have finished 34, and I have like 7 in progress right now. So I think in the next week, I don't know, that'll be up to 36 completed, let's say.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Perfect.
Yeah. So I'm actually doing okay with this one.
I think my goal I set as 80, which I think turned out to like a book and a half a week. And I am at 49. So I am 11 books ahead of schedule, according to Goodreads.
That's awesome.
Well,
Nice.
thanks, quarantine, and thanks, Shakespeare.
Yeah, I've definitely been enjoying like a lot more graphic novels and stuff recently too.
Yeah.
Kind of whip through them pretty quickly sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you guys both hit a bit of a slump when this all started?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I think I fell behind a little bit at some point, but now I'm just like, I think we talked about this in a wrap-up video we did with Ave. I've been kind of treating some of my reading as school because I've been reading a play while listening to a play.
That's kind of where my nonfiction is falling right now.
Of the play, so I'm like, it's like I'm having a mini English class every couple weeks.
Nice.
I have some pretty significant nonfiction that I want to dive into coming up, so that will slow me down a little because it looks pretty dense. Hey,
if I can get through War and Peace, you can do it.
Yeah.
It's I guess it's probably part of a TBR video or something, but while we're here, I realized like at this time in society, it's good to learn about things that you don't know about. And I was talking to a friend recently, and I know surprisingly very little about certain parts of the world. So I found a book called From Columbus to Castro, A History of the Caribbean. So I'm going to start reading that soon.
Cool.
I found a copy. It was written a while ago, but I mean, it only covers history up to Castro anyway, so I don't feel there's much new to add in the past 20 years. But it looks pretty dense, but I'm going to learn some stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So that is our goals so far this year. Check-in video. Yay. I feel like we're all doing pretty good.
Yeah.
So.
I think we're going to throw it back to other Cori, future Cori, past Cori, who knows, to round out the video. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys.
Good job, guys. See ya.
Bye.
All right, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed our mid-year goals check-in. I think we're doing pretty well. Could be worse. Let us know how your goals are going in the comments down below. We'd love to hear from you. And if you like this video, please get a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Happy reading, and thanks for being awesome. Bye!